Afternoon guys, it's Christmas Eve, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to just do a quick video. I say a quick video, it could be a while, on how I do capes. And if you remember back to a previous video on my channel, did this character here, Numian, and did the cape at the back. So I did quite a dynamic cape, so I thought, you know, I'll do a video and give you guys hopefully some ideas on how to do ones yourselves. So basically, what you need to start off with is this stuff here. I use Greenstuff. This I think I bought from Total Wargamer online. The normal yellow and blue, same as you get from any GW store. I just got a lot. Then this here is just a clay putty shaper. It works really well on the Greenstuff for getting it into creases, shaping it, and just playing around. And because it's rubber or silicone at the tip, you can see there, generally the Greenstuff doesn't stick to it, so that's great for messing around with. The GW sculpting tool, that's handy for cutting in and pushing down with that end there, making sure the Greenstuff sticks. And then here got some the average basic sewing needles, the sharp points and no blemishes on the side. It's great for poking it into, well, if I take a model I've got here waiting to be done, use the pins and you can poke it in and around the collar just to get it to sit right. So that's that. Then we come on to this bit here. You may be wondering, this is what I use for the texture. So basically I get a ball of Greenstuff and work it into there, wet it, work it in, and it gives the texture of the Greenstuff. So I'll show you more on that later. Got a glass of hot water here as well, so just helps with the pliability and mixing of the Greenstuff. And the hobby knife. It's probably the most important part of this, is a sharp blade on this knife, so for cutting and sculpting. So the sharper the blade, the less the Greenstuff's going to stick, I'll find. So that's that, and I think we'll go get started. So just breaking open the Greenstuff. Pass. Oh. So there we go. If we just wet the knife and cut in. One of the things is to keep the knife wet. Helps reduce stickiness on a blade. Even though it's a sharp blade, it's still going to cause some traction on there and get stuck. So should be plenty of the yellow, so I've put that away and crack on with the blue. Now I found usually you want to mix 50-50, generally speaking. However, I've found that the more yellow you put in, the more pliable it is, right, for your gap filling and the such. But the more blue you put in, like I did with Numian, the cape I did for that character, that actually held detail a bit better and was a lot bit easier to work with. So what I'm going to do here is cut off a little bit more blue. So do that. Now I find the blue's a lot stickier than other stuff. So, actually try and get this paper off it. If not failing that, just pull it away. It's important not to get any hard bits or impurities in the green stuff. So that should do. Oh. So when working with this stuff, whatever's touching the green stuff, it's best that it's wet, so it stops it sticking, and makes it a bit more pliable. So just dunk that in there. So what I'm doing is I'm just dunking all the green stuff into the water, heat it up, gets it nice and hot, and ready for mixing. See, so I have to do that in the camera. Just knead it in. And just dunk again. So water really is your friend on this. So that's probably a nice dark green. So it's just off the 50-50 mix. Dunk again. Right, so move that out of the way. So there we go, we've got a nice even mix there. It's quite pliable. So now the next bit is let's say these are my fire drakes that I used in the last game. So here we go, we've got one with a heavy flamer. So what we're going to do is get a cape for him. So what you want to do is, so we'll take half of this, roughly flatten it out, get a rough idea of the size you're going to need. So we've got that there. That's probably going to be enough for what I want. So measured that up, dunk it back in the water, keep it nice and fresh, back into a little ball. Now the next part is we wet the texture, bit of, this is milliput that I used to take a cast. All it is the floor of a minibus that I was driving once. So we work this stuff in. And get a nice rough shape. Generally aim for something that's slightly larger than what you want to use, because we're going to end up cutting into this. It's hard to work around the camera. So you just got to be a little bit careful with removing it. So lay that flat down. So there we go, we've got a bit of texture there. So lay that down. So now the next part is we've got the marine. Yeah, as you can see there, just about, it's just a little bit bigger. So we've got that. Now what you want to do is you take your hobby knife and kind of just trim off and cut it to shape. Try not to be too rough with it, that's why you have a sharp knife. You don't need to apply a lot of pressure then. So square it off at the bottom. There we go. Right, we've got our rough cape. You see that there? And if we bring this heavy flame dude back in, just lay it on. There you see, we've got a rough cape going on there. What I'd probably do is I'd probably have that a little bit wider, a bit more cumbersome, and drape it over the shoulder a bit more. So I'm going to pause the video there, go redo that, get back to the same stage and then come back. So see you guys in a few. Right guys, that's me back. I've redone the cape, so there we go. That's about the right size of what I want to work with for the purposes of this video. I've got another heavy flamer to go, so you know, a bit different for them and that, so I'll work on different styles and then show you the unit as a whole afterwards. So right, now the next step is to basically add the definition to the cape, or the creases in that, because that looks very flat still. So what we want to do is, basically, it's hard to do through the camera, so if it goes out of focus, sorry, is basically start pinching it in, pushing it into the body, giving your fingers wet and just seeing where the creases naturally evolve, and adding. So if you see the cape's coming down, and just push it in and around. Right, so I'm going to go play with this, and I've only been back a couple of seconds, but I'm going to play with this because it's hard to do through the camera, so I'll get a better feel for it, and then I'll come back and show you. So see you guys in another few minutes.